Hey guys, Andrew Esquivel here, back with another tank update. This happens to be my personal tank that I keep right next to my bedside. It's my little micro 2.5 gallon tank. And this is one I don't particularly do updates on, for whatever reason. Not sure why, I just kind of more preoccupied with my breeder tanks. And this tank, if you recall from an earlier video, about a month or two ago, I found some of these extremely dark blue Neocardinia davidi shrimp that derived from Dream Blue Velvets. And this insanely dark blue, I just nicknamed them Midnight Blue Shrimp, and if you look, they're actually kind of a greenish tint to it. And I culled them from the herd, but I didn't want to just throw them into like a tank with a fish that would eat them, because I thought they were really cool. So I let them go in my 2.5 gallon tank here, and I let them breed. And as you can see here, we have some of the offspring kind of just chilling about. And they're all eating a veggie pellet. It's a high calcium veggie stick. And you'll see I have some ghost shrimp in here too. I plan to put the ghost shrimp in a special tank with all the other ghost shrimp. We also have a buried female, as you can see. She's carrying a clutch of eggs. So this tank has been pretty stable. They got nice red eyes to go with their blue bodies. And the babies are pretty much everywhere. We have some adolescents all the way down to tiny little shrimplets. And I don't think we're going to find any shrimplets. Please excuse the little water deposits here. Filling up the tank the other day during our water change, and I guess some water dripped down the side a little bit here. Just got to wipe it off. That's what you get when you deal with hard water. There's a lot of little mineral deposits after the water starts to evaporate. Leaves some kind of unsightly but harmless kind of gunk all over the glass. But moving over here, you can see I've got red bush algae on this sponge filter. It's not harmful, but it is a really difficult type of algae to get rid of. It doesn't appear to bother any of the shrimp, or me for that matter. There is a simple algae remover I can get that would get rid of all of that, but since it's not posing any real issues, I'm not really gonna, claim any concern about it. And I had to clean out the sponge filters on this because after a few months they gather so much gunk that it just becomes impossible for it to gather. And here we got a really good picture. We got some shrimplets, some very tiny baby shrimp, you can see right there, with an adolescent. And they just crawl all across this sponge filter, cleaning it up, making it nice and clean. But eventually, like I said, I got to take the sponge filters out and I got to rinse them out, because sponge filters have excellent mechanical filtration, and that's good and bad. If you don't really monitor your sponge filter and clean it out properly once in a while, you start to lose water flow. And when you do that, you start losing filtration capabilities. So I want to make sure that's not a problem. But you know what's funny is when I first got my first order of Blue Dream Velvets a number of months ago, one of the issues I had is when I put them in this tank, they were dying off really quickly, and I couldn't figure out why. And I tried so many different things. And obviously that's not the case right now, and literally nothing has changed other than maybe a water change here and there. But now they're flourishing in this tank, and they're breeding. As you can see, I started with 4 Blue Dream Velvets, and Now they're having babies and everything, and it's just so weird. The fact of the matter is, when I first got my first shipment of shrimp, they were born and raised in different water. And the offspring that thankfully was able to get offspring off of that shipment were born in the water that I have here, which means they were used to it from the very beginning of their life. And that makes a huge difference. You know, it was pretty tragic when I spent, you know, $80 some odd for 10 Blue Dream Velvets, and they were just dying randomly. I tested for copper, I tested for tetrodotoxin poisoning, I tested for chlorine, I tested for nitrites, nitrates, ammonia, I tested my GH, I tested my TDS, my pH, what else did I test for? Phosphates. I tested so many different things, and nothing about my water really suggested anything that would cause any harm to the shrimp. And I just don't know why. That's why, you know, if you look in a few past videos, I was trying to figure out what the heck is going on. But that was a few months ago, and as you can see from my other videos, my 10-gallon tank in the basement, they did really, really well in. And this is my 2.5-gallon that they originally did terrible in, but now are doing just fine for no apparent reason, because nothing in this tank has changed. Nothing. So, yeah, just goes to show you, shrimp are really weird. You know, there's just no predicting sometimes what goes on with them. Sometimes I wish Aquaman was real so I could talk to the shrimp and just ask, hey, why are you feeling bad? But, yep, all my little buddies. Eventually, though, these Dream Blue Velvets will be brought back into the herd with the rest of the Dream Blue Velvets, and they'll be allowed to interbreed with each other, because these ones, their colors are coming out pretty decent. Not entirely perfect on some of them, but most of them are pretty decent. So, they'll be brought back into the main herd, and I'll probably find something else interesting to do with this tank. As much as I love shrimp in a micro tank, and micro tanks, there are limited options on what you can and can't put in here. You really don't want to put any fish in a tank this small. So, kind of weighing my options. Currently also have a rabbit snail and a black devil spike in here, which is also it's just too small of a tank for them to really enjoy, but I have so many assassin snails in the other tanks right now, taking care of pests, that I wanted to make sure they at least have a place to survive until I can remove all the assassins, because I like Skipper, my yellow rabbit snail, and Dante, my black devil spike snail. And up here's little Zoom Zoom. He's just a zebra nearite. Zoom Zoom, I call him that because he generally zooms across the glass and eats whatever algae is just lying about. Although I am kind of concerned about the fact that they do that, because nearites, they just clean everything. And the sad thing is, these shrimp would definitely love to have more biofilm to eat, but the nearites eat all the biofilm before the shrimp can get to it. So that's why I have to supplement their diet with these high calcium veggie sticks. And I get a few people asking me here and there, where do I get these high calcium veggie sticks? I get them online from a private manufacturer. They don't come under any particular brand name. There's no major brand that I know of that makes these. Aquatic Arts, I know, does sell their version of it, but their version's a little overpriced. You can get better deals from other private manufacturers, like on eBay. And these guys go crazy for them because there are tons of different vegetables and tons of calcium packed into it. But anywho, yeah, I just figured I'd show you guys my bedside tank, which I should put something interesting in here. Some decorations. Let me know what you guys think. Give me some suggestions. What should I do with this tank? Alright, well, thanks for watching, guys.